Happy Sunday. It is kind of dreary out here in Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. We are a little rainy, but we need it because things have already lit on fire. So that's always a good start to the year. Hopefully, looks like audio's working, video's working. I will go check out our chat once people start rolling in and say hi, because that's what we do. Yeah, I have a giant 1,000 liter rain barrel that's been collecting water. So it's half full. I think that's 300 gallons, something like that. So lots of water. Definitely will need it. They're already starting to restrict people, which is always fun. And I don't want all my plants that I'm going to put outside to die. Today will be a really cool episode, I guess, stream. I don't know what I call it. It's going to be an interesting time. It's come to my attention that not a lot of people have seen or remember some of the older customs that I used to do. When I started the studio, my passion was drastic customs. So taking a Briar model and ripping it apart and putting it back together in new and exciting positions, or giving it new hair, new personality, moving bits. And since Juggernaut, so since Cancer, I guess, I haven't really done a lot of that. Up to that point, that was kind of my main thing. And now I'm really only known for resins and medallions and things. And a lot of people have kind of come and gone from the hobby, or however that works, or, so I'm not very good at posting the older stuff, which I would like to get back into, because I think it's kind of neat to see some of the cool things that I've done over the years and kind of where I've come from. And there's a lot of stuff that's in private collections that doesn't get shown very much. So it just kind of goes into the abyss, and it gets, even I forget about half of them or more. I see stuff pop up and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. That's weird. So I'll show you that. It's kind of a fun little historical tour. I'm going to start posting kind of the stories behind things and where these customs came from. So hopefully that'll be fun for everybody. I think it's going to be really cool. So we have people streaming in. We have Serene River Briar Model Horses. Good morning on YouTube. And we have Amy. Good morning. Andrea's here. Good morning, Andrea. Jody. Good morning. Katie, you're making tortillas. Share. That's not nice. I guess I say I'm making cheese and stuff and I never share it because, it's kind of hard to pass that through here. I would if I could. So yeah, I think that'll be really cool. There's a lot of cool artists that have painted some of the customs that I have done. So it'll be kind of neat. I've got the Medallion Club medallion to show off, but I'll leave that to the very end to avoid for spoilers. I have the new tater stickers are coming in. So this is for Hasselback. So remember how I said each of them would have a different sticker because they have different hair. So Hasselback has our pulled mane and banged tail. And so he has a holographic blue sticker. Whereas the normal tater, where did I put my sticker? Hold on. I did not prepare well enough for this. There's always something I forget. So, Cowboy Tater, and these are backwards because that's just how the camera works, is a brushed aluminum with some texture on it. Not my face. Pick up the sticker. You can do it, camera. Come on. And then the new one for the next edition will be holographic with his new hair. You can see the difference in the hair there. They'll each have their own certificates. They'll look similar, but the picture will obviously change. The name will change. And then I'm changed all of our font quotey thing. And then I don't have the die cut version of the artwork for the new tater in yet. That's coming this week along with the certificates, or I would show them to you. But this is what came with Cowboy Tater. It's kind of a fun artist's rendition of him. He looks really good in red roan. Speaking of red roan, Lynn Castles Caldwell is working on one. Let's see if I can show you guys. Is Snowdrift Studios on Facebook. I will shrink that. Oh, she might have not posted. There we go. I will share my screen and you can see what I'm looking at. So that's a tater. She's doing all the details and roning in oils. So it is, I don't know how she does this without it wanting to blend crazy amounts. I think she does it with a more dry technique, but it's very cool. It's got a neat texture to it. That's what my Fireheart is done in. And she's going to make me want to buy a tater from her too. Because I want mine to be red roan. Like, what the heck? He is there in the picture. And there. Oh, it's just like the textures are really nice. The tonal differences. I love how he's got so many different interesting areas of hair pattern, and it's not just static, the same across the whole horse, which is really cool. So I have lots of stuff to show you guys. I'm going to try and make the stream not forever long, though. We have Gail. Good morning, Gail. Good morning, Brenda. Gail said, yes, newbies like me have no idea. I want to see stuff from past years. Okay, I can do that. Yeah, I think it'll be really, really fun. And it's something that I want to get back into with all the drastics. So, because that's where my studio name comes from, is transformation and the transformation of one thing to another. So Briar, me, whatever, I'm Clay, I don't know. But it started with Briars. It was all based on drastic customs. We have Rebecca. Good morning, Rebecca. I have lots of wisdom. There's many, many things in this head. I have like absorbed things and it's crazy. But you guys know the hyperfixation thing. Amy says Briarfest Cheese Fest. Just saying. Oh, I guess Spokes and Spurs is going on. That's kind of neat. They had announced their models. Let's see if we can pull that up because that's kind of cool. Briar news. I think they posted it on Facebook. Pardon me while I click. Briar horses. I'll share this with you guys too. So they got to meet, oh, my brain's blanking. The Express Clydesdales. So that's these guys. And then they were at Silver Spurs Equine, and they have a whole bunch of reiners, so they got to watch all that. The Clydesdales are pretty awesome. Look at that sooty, delicious coat. Ugh, love it. They had their models listed at one point. They do their dinner, and then there's two of them. But they did the little guys, and apparently we have a drinking pony. Let's see if we can find Spooks and Spurs. Because they had their event models. So Wimpy's little step is that Bobby Joe in the sooty-ish Palomino, and then we have Ned, which is little Clydesdale, which is awesome. That's just someone's random sales post for them, and then they posted someone else had posted the special runs, and they were a lot of older molds, which I was kind of surprised by, but lots of people like the older molds. There was a Misty and Stormy. Okay. And then these guys showed up too, which is kind of neat. So our next Collectors Club horse will be Rio out of the Exotic Denestitations. I like how I'm making up words and you guys roll with it. Rio, who's an exotic destination pony. Looks like a non-dapple diseasey, because you know when they get the fish scaly dapples, it's dapple disease. We used to call it Esprit dapple disease because it first showed up on the Esprit mold. But yeah, a really nice bay, actually. I'm not a huge fan of that mold in particular. Great for customizing, great for mules. I've made some lovely mules from them. But not really my thing, but really lovely color. I think a lot of people will be happy. And then we have Augustus. who I'm super excited about. Just hair everywhere, little tiny draft, kind of like Zug. I don't know if he's a Zug um, variation or how that worked, but they're very similar brethren, both by Sarah Mink. So that's kind of cool. Where did it go? There it is. Found it. Hold on. Oh, I zoomed in too much. Hold on. There we go. And now this is just somebody's random post on Facebook. But so these were the Spokes and Spurs special run models. So there's a blue group and a green group. Depending on which group you're in, you get to purchase those models, I think, or you're limited. I don't know how it works. I don't know why I'm saying I know how it works, because I don't know how it works. So you have a Guthrie who's 60 pieces, and they're all fairly high priced because it's a high priced event. So $250 each. Maybe that's the difference. Oh yeah, and $195 for these guys. Oh, I would have thought that would have been reversed. But anyway, so Guthrie's on the Foundation Stallion, Garula Appaloosa. We have Ozark on the Harley. I don't know why my brain's like thinking of all the other names. Harley mold, and that's a maybe Dunny Roan, kind of looks like almost. And then there's Redbud, gray, Overo, Sabino-y thing. We have a Misty and Stormy, which is biscuits and gravy, which is really, really cute. Although Misty does have Esprit d'Apple disease a little bit. It's not as bad in that picture, but I've seen some pictures where it's pretty intense. And then that one's $265, and they're fairly limited. So 40 pieces, 48 pieces, 50 pieces, 60 pieces. I don't know how many people were invited to the event. But these ones are higher runs. So I'd imagine it was, if anybody knows, I think it might have been 100 people or so. And then we have a Kathleen Moody section, which I like. So we have Oklahoma Rose, a glossy Dapple Bay, kind of ganache, if you remember from Briarfest in 2015? 2005. One of the 2 years. I can't remember. I think it was 2015. Would have been Oklahoma on the Ashquar mold for their France themed, Paris themed Briarfest. Really, really pretty color. And then I really like the color on Faded Love, Esprit by Kathleen Moody. And then these ones were the cheaper price range. So $195, $104 made, $96 made. So yeah, Briar's doing lots of fun things with that. It's kind of cool to see stuff going on with them posting like the Collectors Club thing. It's just kind of a perk of going to the events and being behind the scenes, which is kind of neat. So we have Edon Nels. Hello. Brenda's saying, I hopefully be able to find one of the Hasselback stickers. You might get people that are willing to sell. Each of the different variations will come with their own swag, which is kind of fun, and I'll probably do a giveaway for people who have purchased stuff later. Just saying. Everybody loves stickers. It's kind of hard when you're like, I want all those stickers, darn it. So Jody says, my husband just brought a glass of champagne and limoncello for brunch. I feel special. Ooh. Twyla, good morning, Twyla. Laura Rocksmith, today sucks. Why does today suck? There's a stream. It's kind of cloudy, but there's lots of ponies. It'll be fine. We'll get better. Just checking in. We have Julia. Good morning, Julia. See, everybody's so nice in the chat. You're like, hi, how's it going? Oh, you're having a bad day. We'll make it better. See, it's all good. Katie's like, chunky boy. I'm really excited. Augustus, I should have gotten 2 subs because I really wanted more than one Augustus. Probably one to hack, but we'll see how it goes. We have Michelle here. Good morning, Michelle. Latigo. Oh, I guess he's not Harley. He would be originally Latigo, but yeah, Harley D Zip. Biscuits and gravy are cute. 200 total for the event, if I remember right. That's a big event. Wow, that's bigger than I thought it was. 200 horses each in both the blue group and the green group. So I guess each person gets 2 by 1 from each group. Oh, that would be a good way to put it. That makes sense. So yeah, if there's 200 horses, then you buy all the things and you're all good. I would be mad because I'd be like, I don't want to buy just one. I want to buy all the things. But generally speaking, there's usually 1 or 2 things you don't like. I don't know who I'd take home from that group, but that's the thing. So let's see. Where do we want to start off with stuff? Oh, I have a thing behind me. I can start off with him. So my Zane came and I was not patient enough to open it, and I was not patient enough because this week was an absolute crazy, ridiculous week. Somebody said that Mercury was in retrograde. I don't know if it still was, but yeah, blah, week. I don't have words for this week. But I got the cute one. He looks especially adorable in Fleabit Gray, although I loved all of the colors. So it was probably the first gambler's choice that I was like, I don't care who I get really, because they're all adorable. And I have a soft spot for Briar Fleabit Grays. I had a couple of lesson horses when I was younger that were Fleabit Gray, and Fleabit Gray is just, I talked about it last time. I had a Seth, which was the sham mold in a Fleabit Gray, but with a mulberry mane and tail. And this guy does have little chestnut blue bites, and their eyes are so cute. Like, how can you not love that? Look at his face. Oh, so cute. So yeah, hopefully you got the one that you wanted if you were able to get one and had your club membership thingy. I almost bought another club membership so that I could do one, but it is not at the time. I still need to get my flights booked in for Briarfest. Oh, so I had credits when COVID happened because I bought flights in 2020 to go to Briarfest, and I'm trying to figure out if they still have my credits saved because I wasn't able to fly then and I haven't flown since, and WestJet is a bit of a hot mess right now, which is our primary flight. We have Air Canada and WestJet, and they're the biggest airlines in Canada. And WestJet's been a hot mess, and they're about to get worse because the airline techs, like the people that work on the planes, are unionized and they're going on strike, and there's going to be a lockout and it's going to be crazy, and they're reducing their flights, which doesn't stress me out at all about going to Briarfest. just a little bit, but yeah, that's the thing. So trying to avoid that. Is it just as expensive as ponies and palms? I don't know. That was a really expensive one for, I don't know if it was location or what, but these are pretty pricey ponies. Yeah, I did show the prices. I think the cheapest were like $195, and then the other side was 200 and some, which is a lot of money for a pony. Julia says, I got 2 bays looking to trade for a gray. Julia, if you were looking to trade, I know somebody that wants a chestnut and has a gray, but yeah. Let's see. Bloody Shoulder, Hubby got the bay. Nice. Laura Rock Smith, we got the bay one, which is what we wanted. The bay is really pretty. I really like the gloss, but there really wasn't a bad choice because they were all cute. I know some people with the chestnut and the bay were saying that there's a lot of texture, but it's an older mold and they have lots of texture. It's just kind of how that worked. That's why they're so addictive. It's the eyes and the cute, like, pony Arabness. Oh, I want to squeeze it. Julia says, no, ma'am. Chestnut? Julia. Got 2 bays. You want a chestnut. Okay. Yeah. All right. Got 2 gray coming. Need the chestnut. Yeah. Dapples are subtle. What? Some dapples. I don't know which dapples you're talking about. So yeah, that was kind of what I got in the mail. Was the Briar thing, because super awesome. I was going to do an opening video and an unboxing video, and I did not. So sorry. Surprise! That's what I got. It is really cool though, because they send them in these adorable little boxes with question marks over top of them. It's like a really big blind box or blind bag, and I love it. So, and I kept it in the box for 2 days and didn't open it. And it's like Schrodinger's pony when you do that, because it can be all the variations all at once. So I was like, I am happy with this box because it's all of them and none of them at the same time. For all I know, the box could have been empty, really. So it could have been none of them. It's kind of fun. So I'm going to show that guy after, but let's show some stuff. So I did a lot of customs starting when I first started, like 20 years ago. I started with manes and tails. I did some commissions. So some of these are older commissions that I did. I did ones that I auctioned off on eBay. There's kind of various ponies all over the place. Let's see if I can find. That pulls up. The search function freaks me out a little bit with Facebook now, because it is AI, which is weird. Okay, so I can show that. All right, so I started kind of with hair, got brave, started moving feet, moved ears. That's kind of the general trajectory of things. I can show you some of the stuff I did now. Oh, that's not what I was hoping for. Where'd it go? There it is. There's too many. There we go. All right. So if I can get this to shrink. Oop. Nope. That one. So this guy is a Lone Star painted by, come on. Painted by Tammy Pomerchuk. So I did a new tail. You can see there. He's got a new tail and a new mane. So the tail's kind of a swishy tail. It's stuck away from the body as well. And then obviously it's painted by Tammy Pomerchuk, and she does a great job. She's really talented. So it's always an honor to have amazing people paint my work. When they're amazing people and also amazing artists, it's like extra bonus. So it's kind of cool to see how much a new dude changes them. And Briard actually featured him when she got to paint Emerson for them. Here's the... Whoop. So that's another picture of him from the front. So you can kind of see how the tail swishes out, and then he's got all of his loose hair. Just made him extra adorable. He needed... Like, he was cute in the Rose version, but Sarah Rose, she likes her hair kind of more prim and proper as a general rule, and I kind of like it a little more scraggly and wild. So it was kind of a neat to see the different combinations of her model and my hair. I really like playing with stuff like that because it's really neat, because you can't deviate too much. Hair's a little different than if you're changing the sculpting on, say, the body or the head, because you want that to kind of gel and match, or at least blend in some way or complement the sculpture. But hair, you can go a little bit more wild, so it's kind of fun to see what you can get away with and how that changes a sculpture. It's very, very cool. So that is the Lone Star I did. So I did lots of customs like that. If you go through my Facebook page into kind of the background of things and look at older photos, there's lots in there that I've done. I did this guy too for Tammy. So this was a commission for Tammy. She wanted her Valor to be a little bit different. So she wanted him to be a polo pony. I moved his feet a little bit just to change the stance, moved his toe out, and then gave him a little bit of a polo wrap there. He has a roached mane. I twitched an ear, and the ear, something as simple as an ear can make all the difference in the world. So it's really, really cool. Over here trying to get close up to see the hair sculpting. Yeah, it's kind of hard. This isn't the best for whatever reason, it doesn't like re-showing the photos with a lot of quality. I don't know why. It's just being a jerk. This is a pretty blurry photo anyways, but it kind of changes his feel. You can check out Tammy's page. So she's Winterglen Studios, art by Tammy Pomerchuk on Facebook. All these pictures will be there. If you go to her page and look up Lone Star, he'll pop up. If you go to her page and look up Valor, this guy will pop up. She's got tons and tons of ponies that she's done over the years. So this is just scrolling through her photos. There's the Emerson Briar that she did for them. There's been lots over the years. Her best customs contest horse that won. I did there's this guy. So yeah, if you find those photos, then you can take a peek at what's up. We've got lots of stuff. It's quite the thing to look through, to be honest. There's very overwhelming amounts of adorable pony. And her studio is incredible with how it's set up. So that's kind of neat. But I did a Sharif for her at one point. He's got a bit of a customization to him. There's a regular, this is a little Lone Star, so you can see the difference. This is what Lone Star originally looked like. This is just the mini version, so think of him bigger. He had no changes. He was just scanned and shrunk. I believe, or resculpted in exactly the same, because they're basically, I think she had to have been scanning them. But it's kind of neat to see how it works. Because it does change the feel quite a bit, which is really neat. That's why I like customs. Customs are just fun. I like how we're just trolling poor Tammy's page. Nothing wrong with that. There's the Valor again. Here's a better picture of him. He's just got that epic side eye with that ear. And when you stand him on a table with other Valors, he stands out, which is kind of the benefit of doing customs. Then there's this guy. So there was a while just before I got cancer that I was doing a lot of like really hardcore drastic customs. And Torque is one of them. So Torque used to be a ruffian, and I resculpted him, and he ended up with a collector that owns a few of my drastic customs. So on a wooden base, new tail, new position, leaning, just giving her, and then Tammy put the paint job on him. And he's very, very cool. So kind of looks similar to in Pose. I done Sugar and Spice, and this person that owns it wanted me to kind of spice up a ruffian and make it a little bit more of a performance stock horse. Let's see if I can find, I have the unpainted picture too. As I scroll through all of the things. All of the things. Oh, where'd it go? All right. So here's the unpainted Torque. So that's the custom before it had paint on it. You can maybe see some of the face details a little bit better. Whole face was redone, all the hair, and that hair is pretty crazy, which is kind of when I started getting into some of the crazy stuff. A really nice stretch going on through that shoulder, locks into the base with metal pegs. You can see the lean there, how much lean is going on, because both those legs are kind of on that back part of the base, and the tail's pretty crazy too. So Torque is like one heck of a sculpture to try and ship with all the crazy hair. And this particular person also owns a few things I've done. Let's see if I can pull up more. I'll show you this one too, since it came up. My computer's like, yeah, I'm not letting you expand Windows anymore because you do it. You're abusing your privileges. What? There. Haha, I tricked it. Let's see if that'll show. Nope. I'll have to show it here. So I did a set of customs for, well, drawings, and then a couple of customs for Briar for an article for Just About Horses. So this Croy was done. It's the same Croy that you know and love, just with some additions to her mane. So I didn't resculpt her mane. I just made it more wild, which was a new kind of concept for me. I took it and just added more hair and made it a little bit more less mold friendly and more fun friendly, which I really, really enjoy. I feel like we can tell Raven sculptures by the crazy hair. It's one of the features. Um, so yeah, I added some feathering. I added a horn, obviously. The tail is all me, but the mane is her normal mane, just with some additions to it. And she was done in a really neat blue, purple, really cool dapples actually on this one. They worked out really subtle. This one ended up being auctioned off on eBay, and went to a black hole collector that we've never seen it again. I didn't even hear from the person when they got it to confirm that they got it. And they bought a couple from me. And that always makes me a little bit sad that they just disappear sometimes into the ether. But yeah, so I had a lot of fun with it. She was kind of cool. And even the markings had a tinge of purple to them and were kind of wild and crazy. So I did stuff like that. And I do, so that one was painted by me as well. There was a lot of drastics that I didn't paint that other people painted. Sometimes disclosed as my work, sometimes not disclosed as my work. So there's stuff out there that masquerades as other people's stuff that was not other people's stuff, which is unfortunate, but that is how things go sometimes. So I did a couple of other customs for the original lady that owned Torque, and these ones were requested by that person. So this was a weather girl. So Briar's weather girl. Whoops, dropping weather girl. So if you see stuff out there that kind of looks like my work and it's not labeled as my work, it might have been my work. Let's see if I can find Briar Weather Girl. So this was the original. You guys know what Weather Girl looks like. So that's the original. And now that is also painted by Carolyn Boyd, or Carolyn Boydston. I have some painted by Carolyn Boydston. Carol Williams, so of Rio Rondo Enterprises. Incredible. I would check this out on, it's a Gallery 14 is this one. A really, really lovely chestnut Sabino. And the tail's another, again, wild hair. It's not a thing I do. So for better resolution, you'll probably have to hop over there. I don't think I can increase it. Video. Yep, I can't change that. But yeah, super, super different from the original Weather Girl. There was another Arabian that was done off of the Marawari mold as well, as a stallion to go with the mare. So this one's a mare. Redone in the face, new ears, new hair, moved body parts, everything kind of resculpted and then painted by incredibly talented Carol. And then again, a wood base with some texture on it. Julie's saying, I love the impression of power I get from the hind end when you're looking at it from the left. Yeah. There's a lot of energy and stuff that goes into it. I really like to feel the pose before I sculpt it. And it's so sad that stuff like this, I'm not good at sharing it, but you can really see her face. And just incredible details by Carol. the Rapicano. So there's that one. And then I've got so many, so I'm not going to show you all of them today, but I wanted to show off a few because it's kind of nice to take a peek. So this used to be a Bobby Joe. As you might be able to tell, it is spinning the opposite way to the original. So this was the original Bobby Joe, and I was requested to do a commission, and it's like, oh, can you do Bobby Joe? And we want spin in the other direction, and crazier hair, different face. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy, but why not? Let's do it anyway. So we ended up with this one. So you'll see that my maiden name's on there. So I was Raven Brewer, which is what a lot of the drastics were under because I didn't get married until just before cancer. So looking through archives and stuff, I think there's a Pinterest board that's up with my customs on it as well. I'll see if I can pull that up. But this is one of my favorite customs I've probably ever done. Again, painted by Carol Williams. The hair is epic. There's so much power and control to this horse. I so love Joe. And Carol just really brought him to life. Like, look at that. Look at it. And I couldn't not mess with everything. I'm pretty sure I changed every inch of this horse. I redid the whole butt. You can see like that pivot point is just, I love it. There are horses that make me sad that they left and went to somebody else, even if they were commissions. And this one is one of the ones that I would buy back in a heartbeat because he's just so much intensity and fierceness and movement and all the things that I absolutely adore. Lover hind hoof being lifted, yeah. And Carol just did such a good job. I really, really like it. And then my wild and crazy hair. But brought to life by an incredible artist because it takes two generally. Like it's fun if I paint them. I really enjoy painting them. But at the same time, it's also really fun if other people paint them and put their own vision on it. And this is a combination of like 4 visions. So there was Morgan's original Bobby Joe, which inspired the commissioner to ask me for a particular idea. I spun off that, and it probably didn't look anything like, or well, it would have looked like what the commissioner was asking for, but obviously with my own take on it. And then Carol going in and putting paint on it, and it amps it up to a new level. So, but I do love this pony. So yeah, there's lots of drastics and stuff that are in the ether. I did a lot of work and collaborations with Nikki Button, where I would do the model and she would do the paint. There were collaborations with Jamie Baker back in the day where I would do little stablemate customs and she would do the paint. You guys probably know Nikki Button's Olaf. Who's the... Let's see if I can find him. So again, the pose was requested by the commissioner, and I sculpted the pony. And that was the Halflinger, the Burl Halflinger pony mare. And Nikki painted them. And it's based on, you can see the reference there, a fairly popular reference image of a fjord horse. And obviously done well for the owner, which is kind of cool. So one day I will get back into doing all the drastics, and I will be very, very excited to do them. And like paint and stuff, I really enjoy too. I've done a lot of that in the past with my customs. There's been stuff that I've obviously sold or auctioned off, or it was requested to be unpainted. And then there's things that I've done that are painted. Let's see if I can find more stuff. But paint's something that I have to take some breaks from because paint can be a little bit much for me. There are times when I require breaks from said painting. But here is an Imperiador custom, because we just talked about Imperiador. So that was an Imperiador, and this is a terrible picture of it. It's a mule. The reference color is pretty popular. I did all the paint. It was a see, such a sweet mule. And the body works really well. It's really narrow. Anyway, I have a Pega donkey, which is kind of a funny story because I did a Pega donkey on Imperiador because I bought a whole bunch of bodies. I was super excited that Mink had done another mold for Briar. I got like 7 bodies, and I did a Pega mule, started it, and then Mink came out with Suerte, which is her Pega donkey, the standing resin, and I was like, oh, mine's standing too, and it's on her mold, and that's gonna be weird. So he's still in my body box, but I do want to finish him at some point. It's probably been long enough now. And then this is before all the details went on, so this is the unfinished version, and then that's kind of some of the detailing once it was all said and done. This is all hair by hair, done by me, over top of an oil base coat. And then the next. And it looked so cool. There was just a lot of texture to the coat, and I really enjoyed it. So you will probably see painted pieces by me every once in a while, but I probably won't do all of them because painting is not, I can just devour sculpture work. The prepping, not so much, but I can devour the sculpture work. It's getting into the like nitty-gritty of the paint that is very hit and miss. It can be very much what totally stalls things out. And it's not something I always enjoy very much. So I do enjoy it when I enjoy it, and I'm good at it. It's just getting there, right? But hopefully that was a fun tour through some of the stuff I've done in the past. I'm going to try and post stuff more regularly, because it's all stuff that it would be kind of fun to see again. And there's lots of things that I find. I was going through my iPad, and some of the old archived photos are all cool stuff that I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot I did that. Oh yeah, I forgot I did that. I need to actually put it on my website and in my Facebook page under older customs and drastics so people can look through stuff, because all you really know me for now is just all the resins, which is cool too, and for Fireheart and stuff. But yeah, it's kind of fun. Never would have guessed that's a weather girl. That's the point of drastics, and it's the fun. I love putting something out there and being like, do you know what mold it is? You can't guess, can you? Because there's some stuff that I just hack to heckin' gone. So I've got when Altanai first came out, I did a custom on him, and also Jorg. They're not super drastic, but they were when they first came out as Premier Club horses, which was a long time ago. That shows you how long it's been since I've actually finished a drastic. I don't know if she's up there still. No, I moved her. But I've got Astrid as well that I've worked on. I really want to do it again. It's just not working yet. I got to get through some stuff, and then I will get back to customs. But it's definitely a passion. I quite love it. Julie's like, I love how we're in here hyping up other artists' work. Yes, to the point. We like, as a community, supporting each other, doing awesome stuff. So I enjoy it. Let's see. I think I prefer the way you did that mane to the original Bobby Joe. Yeah, Bobby Joe's mane never really. There's limitations with how you can sculpt things for Briar. and for plastic molds. You can't have undercuts. That's why they look different than resins. That's why the poses are fairly limited. You could not do a biter. It would not be easily possible. You'd have to glue 500 pieces together, and then by that point, you'd have to charge so much. And their molds are 10,000 or 50,000 American dollars ish. That was the last time I heard, which was a while ago. So it's probably gone up, but about 10,000 American dollars for their molds for the simple ones. So if you can imagine, you start complicating things, the more undercuts there are, the more money the mold costs you, and it can get really out of hand really quick. And that's a massive investment on the front end. So that's another reason why companies like Stone didn't do a lot of molds, is it's so expensive to try and do that. Breyer's doing well enough, obviously, that they're able to do that more often now with the Premier Club and other things. But it's still a very, very big expense and a big risk if it doesn't work and people don't like it and don't buy it, right? But there are limitations, especially with hair and where seam lines need to go. So it can be very challenging to do stuff. Like, that's why you don't see a lot of the crazy intricate stuff that you'll see in some other things. Although artists are getting more creative and starting to learn how that works and using it to their advantage. Like Hamilton's tail with all of his little peekaboo holes and kind of the flowiness to it. That's using it to your advantage. And it's takes a little bit to figure it out. Version speak. Maiden name is Verzinski. Version speak. Love the base, adds more realism to the pose. Thank you. I did the African unicorn. It is hiding. It was in there, just about horses. Unicorns of the world. Here we go. So this was the article that I did for Breyer. So unicorns around the world, Africa. So this is a Malik custom that I still have that Blue decided to knock off of the shelf. So he's got crazier hair. I did the same thing as I did with the Croy. The horn is based on African animals, a kudu, I believe. And all the colors were supposed to be based on that. It is magnetic and removable, and the tail is wild. I still have him. I meant to sell him a long time ago, but he hangs out because I really like him. And then I did some art pieces, which a while ago I had sold the originals of. There was our Croy and our Brumby unicorn. The ponies. I'll pop that into the chat, actually, so you guys can check that out. But yeah, so done lots of things. There's things everywhere. It's just a matter of finding them. I'll have to track them all down. Twyla's like, I'm coming to steal him. He's broken, so good luck with that. Definitely African vibes. The jumper reminds me of a sketch, or that jumping of a log sketch reminds me of a book. Which book? Tell me. I need more books to read. Hi, Toby. How's it going? Jody's like, your work is so inspiring to me as a painter. Thank you. It's been a long road. Like, it doesn't feel like I've been doing this for 20 years, but it has been a thing. So yeah, it's kind of fun to see stuff going back, and I'm going to pull stuff out of the archives or things I've done along the way. I've been trying to share some of the YouTube stuff that I've been doing. Let's see. Interest group for my stuff. So like, I posted in the chat. I did a speed sculpting of a face, which is kind of fun to watch. I need to do more stuff like this, where you can kind of see me do the eyes and the ears, and I think I did. No, the ears. This is the eyes and the mouth. I did the ear beforehand, but you can still kind of see it. He had a cool tood. You can see how I manipulate the tools to kind of get into the nose. Stuff like that's kind of fun for me. And then I'll see if I can find the Pinterest page. I was trying to kind of curate everything for a while, and then it became more challenging. Oh, here's a Almanzor resin that I gave a new due to. And I had to resculpt this side of his face because his face was all messed up. But he was gorgeous. Super, super fun. And I can't remember for Stormwind Studios maybe painted it. I can't remember offhand. Let's see. I apparently didn't do a very good job of keeping everything in one place. So I'm going to try and do that again and conglomerate stuff, at least on my website and Facebook, but we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that was kind of a tour through all of, well, not all of my older customs. There's hundreds probably out there. There was a time when that was all I was doing was just drastics and customs and commissions and hair and faces. I actually found a book that had a whole bunch of stuff listed in it, which was kind of cool. Let's see if I can find. There's a lot of them out there that are still unpainted in collections, like Riptide here. So that's original Andre. And if it will let me, that was new Andre with crazy, crazy, crazy hair. And new mouth. He's got an open mouth. The hair was absolutely ridiculous on this guy, as you can tell. And he's called Riptide for a reason, because Riptide's the tide that the current that pulls you back out into the ocean. Yeah, his name's Riptide. So that was him in his original form. Quite a difference. But I used to really like doing stuff like that, and I used to have more time for it. So hopefully I'll get back to it soon. It will be super fun. And I'll do little delves into the history of some of these and some of the stuff behind them, which is kind of fun. Very Fireheart-esque. Yes, I have a style, it seems, that keeps leaking out. And it's fun because I've seen some of the same personalities and like spirits pop out again and again. Even some of the same faces kind of come back again and again. So there's definitely a thing in there that wants out every once in a while. The skeleton friend, that guy, he's a base for sculpting on. So I bought him on a Kickstarter, and you can use it as like an anatomical armature. Basically, it's got all the bones, and you can move the neck and the head and reposition it and open the jaw and move the eyes. Can't remember who it was through, but I've got one in the box up on the shelf somewhere. But yeah, I've got some of those true form armature skulls for the horses that I was sculpting on at one point, and then it's just easier to do it from scratch now. So yeah, so I want to do stuff like that. I'd like to get into doing some more drastic custom YouTube tutorials and things like that. Maybe we'll see something in the future soon. We'll see how it goes. You can definitely tell you're a Kathleen Moody fan. How? I don't understand how. Oh, Tommy says, I saw a resin bust you did. Would love to see some more busts from you. There are some up on the shelf right there. Right there by the box of abandoned souls that never got produced. There was a sleepy mare and a show draft horse and a thoroughbred and all sorts of stuff. And then I had an idea for doing busts that were the same size as a traditional sized head. So you could cut the head off and use it for customization, or keep them as busts and paint them because they'd be fun either way. But that never got realized because not all ideas like to be born very easily. Yeah, a thing. There was an angry face and then a turbo bath face, which is hilarious because he's like, would have been fun. So yeah, we'll see what comes up in the future. There's lots of things that I have percolating in the background, and it depends on what things want to be finished up first. But there's a whole history. Like I said, I would check out the photos page. I don't know if I can get rid of that. Go away. If you go to my studio page and then click on photos, which should pop up. This is showing under more because it's being a turd. And underneath the photos, if you scroll through them, there's tagged photos and then there's photos by me. If you go through these, you'll find all sorts of old customs, things that might be in progress that you'll see someday that show up. Like Darius, that fish horse, he's in there. I've obviously got lots of posts in between of different stuff. This was an old clay sculpture that I'd done at one point that still exists. There's our Darius, or not Darius, Bombus. Where'd Darius go? He's hiding. There's lots of stuff. But you only have to scroll down there so long before you start seeing some cool things that maybe have been buried that are hiding. So I've got a Nicholas custom. Where'd he go? Now he's hiding. This guy's still hanging out in custom land on my desk somewhere. There's all sorts of things. You never know, and you might find something cool. Artwork. Half a biter. So this, like, once you start getting past spiders, so there's the custom Astrid that I did that still needs to be cleaned up before I can sell it. Stuff like that. I'm going to want to do more stuff like that in the future. So that is a thing to keep your eyeballs on. And Darius the fish I showed off in a stream a little bit ago, but if you look up Chrysalis Studios and then Darius, like spelt like Darius Rucker from Hootie and the Blowfish, it should pop up. You'll see Darius pop up. So on that note, I will give you one hyperfixation tip before I get into the spoilers. So if people want to leave, they can leave. My hyperfixation of the week has been not spending a whole bunch of money on plant stuff and trying to keep plants alive. We built a greenhouse yesterday because it was the moment to do it before it gets rainy and crazy. And it's going to start getting warm enough to plant outside. And I have a whole bunch of tomatoes that want to move outside and a couple of peppers and things. And I'm going to get a hibiscus because iguanas love hibiscus. And so Blue will love eating it. But I went and found these, which is a cheeky red curry squash, which is supposed to be really good. And they're really cool looking. I like weird plants. So this was almost $7 for, what does it say? 12 seeds. And that was a lot for just 12 seeds, but I figured it'd be kind of cool to have a cool version of squash. And then I resented buying more squash seeds because I want to put squash over top of a hedge that I want to kill. So I don't care about the hedge, but it'll look cool with all the squash leaves all over it. So I went and bought a organic butternut, and it was just a little guy. And I went and bought a little delicata squash, which is the one that's yellow with some green and orange stripes on it. They're both super tasty and super awesome. And I bought the actual fruits. So Blue and I can eat the fruits. Chris isn't really a squash guy. And then I opened them up and they both had over 100 seeds inside. One had 154 and then the other one had 101 seeds. And those were like the big ones that were usable. So for $5, I got 2 squashes, which we can eat, and 200 times the amount of seeds that are in a package for $7. I don't know the exact variety of either of those squashes, but does it matter? So I've saved and grown pepper seeds because they're California Wonders if they're just normal peppers, like the bell peppers. Any normal pepper, if you like spicy peppers, you can pull the seeds out of and grow from the superstore or market. I've done it with tomatoes that I really like the flavor of. I've kept the seeds and grown them and they worked out good. With seeds, you're not always guaranteed to get that exact kind of crop. because sometimes it can cross-pollinate with different varieties, but it's fun. You never know what you get. It'd be kind of cool. I grow some petunia seeds so that I don't have to spend a whole bunch of money on petunias, and they make billions of seeds. Like I've got like a thing full of seeds. It's probably billions of seeds. It's crazy. So yeah, you can save money and not have to spend a whole bunch on stuff, which is nice, which means you can spend more money on ponies. So there's always that. For those of you that are joining, we have Tamarian. Hi. I think Haley joined a little bit back. Hi. I did go through a whole bunch of my older customs, so you can scroll through if you just like scrub through the video later. You can see where I'm showing stuff on the screen, and that's when I'm showing cool customs and things that are older that most people don't even know about. You can regrow a pineapple too from the top, but it takes like 3 years, I think, Amy. Yeah, it takes a long time. Oh yeah, and then Jody's saying some veggies grown for retail have been sterilized so their seeds won't germinate. An easy way to test that is put the seeds in a Ziploc with a paper towel. And these are my curry squashy seeds. But they're germinating. Look at this little happy root. So I will have 4 of the red curry squashes to try, which would be kind of fun. All right. Hyperfixation. I need like the magic and the sparkles. Same with lettuce if you keep the stem. Yeah, a lot of things you can regrow. Celery will do that. Potatoes you can potentially plant. All sorts of cool stuff. So that's the thing. On that note, I will go into spoilers. So if you do not want to be spoiled, run far away, and I will see you next Sunday. And I will give you like 3 more seconds to run away. Okay. So if you haven't seen the medallion, and this is going to butcher it because my lighting's terrible, but someone was keeping a secret. And now we have a baby. And the cool thing about this one too, let's see if I can do it for you on screen, is he actually will stand up on a flat surface. So when you're not suspending him in air on top of another medallion, his poor mom. But yeah, he'll stand on the 2 points in the back, and it looks like he's jumping over the cloud legitimately, which is even cooler, which I didn't tell you guys about in the spoiler alert. And it is a fairly chunky medallion, so he doesn't have bits that are going to break off very easily. He's so cute. So this is Dash, and kind of spoiler for the name a little bit. Part Rainbow Dash, but also part our iguana was called Dash when we first got him, and he just like zipping around. And all I could picture was this little foal, because Alphaba's very athletic, running around causing all sorts of trouble, because it's like, well, you have a athletic mama, you're gonna have an athletic troublemaking baby. I'm super excited to see this painted. I do have one primed, but I have not put color on it yet. So Mickey's little face. So hard to get good pictures with good lighting with these cameras. And then his little wings. They're so cute. And I purposely made them not super breakable, which is always nice. Yeah. Let's see. Little heart. I like doing that sometimes too. So it should be really cute. And they look really cute together. So if you have the two, they make a very adorable pair. Leap in the clouds together. She's like, come with me. We leap over it. And he's like, I'm trying. These legs are too long. So super fun. All right. Well, I guess on that note, it is time for me to leave. I will let you guys go. I will see you next Sunday. We'll see what Briar comes up with in the meantime. Maybe I'll have more spoilers for you. There's some exciting stuff that I'm working on, so I will see how much I can keep secret and how much I spoil. And if you want to join the Medallion Club and get this guy, you can head over to chrysalisstudios.com, either through the Peaks page or the main page. I'm going to put a banner up there on that main page soon. It's open until the 16th, so you have lots of time to join, and you can add him, Dash, as your first box. And if it's your first box with the club, I'll include the sticker as well, so you get a full complete experience for your first box. And then if you're in the club and you want more, either just send me an email, or I will be sending out a email with a link that you can just buy from the store on the webpage as well. And that'll come fairly soon here. We do need to do a hangout session. It's a thing. We should do it. All right. I will let you guys go carry on into the wilderness. Be awesome people. Spread awesome things. It's always free to comment and spread good cheer on people's artwork, especially for newbies that are just starting out, that maybe not are super, super awesome in their level of skill yet, but they are working their darndest, because we all started there at some point, and that can change somebody's life like it did for me when I was younger. We wouldn't have my work if people weren't supportive. Like some of you have followed me for a while, or Twyla helped teach me how to do model customization and painting and encouraged me along the way. So without awesome people supporting us, we don't get to the awesome levels. So go do that. It's free. And it'll make you feel good, and it'll make them feel good. So it's a win-win. And we will see you next Sunday. All right. Don't